Good afternoon, all Dhamma brother and sister. Today, our topic is how to sort suicide according to Buddhism point of view. So, I would like to discuss in this topic. Suicide means the killing of any act. It is that effect or cause depend. It is the effect or cause depend. If we commit suicide, we more suffering retribution. As we know, that committing suicide and killing are the same. Committing suicide is also killing. I understand two kinds of suicide. The first one is not now, at the Buddha times. Some men, they know their body, the sin of suffering, the sin of misery. They are thinking, our body is full of misery, our body is full of suffering. This time, they want to abandon their body. This time, they can suicide. We can learn this Vinaya Pitaka, that's Parasika, the Buddha preached already. And that's not because of us, amen. And then second is nowadays, for example, he or she may also, we meet a pain problem, suffering problem, pain of healing, pain of suffering, pain of emotion, and then put the anger in our mind. This time is we can easily do suicide. In Buddhism point of view, the Buddha did not allow suicide because this suicide is not that end of suffering. But many people suicide is completely dislike. But the Buddha mentioned is this suicide is that not the end of suffering. It is many retribution or more suffering. That's why we met how difficultly see our light. We cannot never think suicide. That has we can patient and we stay in light and we can produce our good quality of mind, our good quality of education. We can try and try again and again. This suicide is certainly lead to bad consequence. Sometimes we might thinking, that is very lazy, that is miserable, that is very boring. I also sometimes I'm thinking, all day is wake up, eating, studying. At the night we are sleeping, and then again and wake up. This is a very lazy. What is the value? I every day thinking. Sometimes. So this time I can suicide sometimes. So because I think that is lazy, no? So yeah, boring. Yeah, that is boring. So And committee suicide is many retribution. This is leading to hell, leading to hell. This absolutely not good for us. So, Vinadeva Siyadasa, he explained also, the Buddha said, we have good plan, we are, everything's are completely. That's why we need to go plan. So, we need to go plan, we have good plan, we are support each other properties, and very important, we are support each other mind, mental development. This is very important. So, the Buddha said our human life is a very, very valuable because this human life is a karma produce. We had good karma produce, and then we are akusala karma produce. We can choose. So we are akusala karma produce. We going to accept. We we can kusala karma produce. We going to accept. We are akusala karma produce. We are going to hell. That's why this human life is a very valuable. So the Buddha said in Gautara Nikaya, Vinsaka Nipat, 5 kinds of difficult to abstain. So the first one is the Buddha becoming the Buddha is very difficult because Buddha life is many people of paramita. That's why the Buddha life is very difficult. Second is this is the first one is a Pali word Buddha Bado Donabo. Second one is Manosata Bado Donabo. Our human life is very difficult because many people complain. Or in the world, many people, many countries, many people, what is a Manosata Bado Donabo? What is a very difficult human life? So we can see it easily because we stay in our room, only me. But many insects, many mosquitoes. This we can see already our human life is very difficult, the Buddha said. And then the third is Pavajita Bhavadonavo. Pavajita Bhavadonavo is now we are changing the man and nan. This is also difficult. And then fourth is the Tadatampati Bhavadonavo. Tadatampati Bhavadonavo is we need to pay Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and Karma. So, and then the last one is Tatama Tawana Atitongaba. This is the most very difficult because we are listening to now, we listen to Dhamma and sharing to Dhamma. This time is we cannot go here. We are realize our own. We are listening to music. But now we are good person. That's why we are going to sharing to Dhamma display. Thank you so much for attention. Please.
Sadhu, Siale Kemanandi, and she also had a very good view of points according how to solve suicide according to the Buddhist point of view. She mentioned that there are 2 kinds of suicide. One, when people think that their life is full of suffering and to escape from full of suffering, they do suicide. And she gave example when the Buddha taught about the suffering of the life, then many bhikkhus committed suicide. And then the second one, she said that because of fear, anxiety, and the boring life, people committed suicide. And she mentioned how to solve suicide according to the Buddhist point of view. Means she said we need to have a correct understanding and correct friend, a good friend, Kalyanamita. When we are in suffer, Kalyanamita can help us to support us and to show the good path to overcome from this polluted mind to do suicide. And she mentioned that suicide is not only killing yourself, it is also killing parajika. So don't, it's like she mentioned that it is a kushala dhamma. So suicide is also a part of parajika. So she mentioned that don't do suicide. And she just mentioned how blessed and how important our Buddha life, human life, and Bhikkhu life, and having a correct intention about the Dharma life, how hard it is. So she just mentioned that practicing well and mindful will be help to solve the suicide according to the Buddhist viewpoint. So today's our six speakers have different kinds of